Welcome to the Report Card Show. I'm Bill Zortman. It's Your Business, and this is show 3532 in our original It's Your Business series. It always happens on a Monday, either the first or second Monday of the month. Joining us for the first time, well, here's what happens. The Report Card Show, almost 10 years old now, is brought together once a month. The president of the Realtors Association of the Sioux Empire, Home Builders Association, people to sort out the financials, and generally someone from the state level or someone they've appointed. And they appointed somebody new this morning at 9:32, and he is going to head up a group here in Sioux Falls, which I think you will find it interesting. To close the show, we have a guy named Jerry Berg, Intech. But let's get started with Tony Bachman, Team Keller Williams, and he's got a short-termer beside him this morning. Is that right?
I do, yeah. Mr. Rick Trapp, who's the president of our Realtors Association, he is, when is your officially, within the next couple of days, right? Next week?
Yeah, we induct on the 16th of November and basically take over on the 1st of December.
Yeah.
Well, he was asking me what we're going to do with Boots after he leaves office, and I got to thinking, maybe he kind of likes this monthly show thing.
Yeah, I think he does actually.
Yeah. I talked to him on Friday, and I told Todd, I says, you should stay on for longer, So that's what he was talking. So he might have some questions for you, Bill.
Well, I put the show together Friday. I changed it 6 o'clock this morning. At 7:30, I get an update from Tony Bachman. So, Tony, would you like to do our update? Because it's new to me.
Well, I just hate to give you the notes too early, because if I give the notes too early, who knows? The market might change in 2 days. So.
It could.
It's kind of the market we've been in. But so, yeah, the update basically is, in reference to, what's happening here is, the monthly indicators are showing us that the real estate market is still going strong, but there's no signs of really slowing down. We're seeing a lot of good open house traffic out there. And also we've just got a lot of inquiries, and I know that Rick would probably confer, would probably agree, is that we just got a lot of people that are calling from, it's not just from our surrounding area, it's from all other states and that sort of thing, inquiring about real estate here. So as far as we can see, we're just going to continue to see some of these same, numbers, but I did give you a breakout of what, last October to this October.
I noticed that.
So.
Well, you want to go through them?
Sure. I guess that's what we're here. It's the Monday.
Well, I got 12 people that are experts in this hour, so get started.
Okay, you got it. So new listings so we're looking at last October to this October. New listings are up 7.1%. Encouraging, right? Because we need to have that, we need to have a little bit more inventory. In reference to pending sales, they're up 27% from last year. Median sales price is up 9% from last year. This year, last year was $239,000. This year, $260,000. So basically 9% increase. But if we look at year to date, last year to year to date this year, actually as a whole, the entirety of the prices were up 12.2%, which really doesn't surprise me, because when we talk to people about home values and prices and what, median prices, that sort of thing, we're usually somewhere between 10 to 15% is kind of the average, out there right now. And I think that's really, is nationally is similar. I mean, we're seeing a lot of those same trends with national. So we're trending just with everybody else at this point. One thing that I was surprised and I was encouraged by is that the percent of the original price received of the listing price was still just a skosh over 100%. It was 100.1%. Over the last few months, we've been at like 101, 102, those sorts of things. So the prices are still relatively strong, but like we've talked about in the past, now we're seeing offers coming in a little bit closer to actual list price, as opposed to seeing like the $20,000 and $30,000 over. But again, what's happened is those prices, when they were priced out anywhere from 8 to 12 months ago till now, they're already priced, anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 higher. So now when offers come in, they're coming in pretty close to list. The other thing is inventory homes. This is the part here where they're down 33%. So about a third of the inventory homes from last October to this October. And I think about last September, and Rick, I don't know, you can confer with this, I think it was about last September when we started to see kind of the activity ramp up with multiple offers and, prices take off. And so October is probably when we're comparing last October to this October, we were starting to see those things increase and climb. But inventory levels are a little low. So we're also seeing the number of closed sales down just a bit. But it's not because there isn't enthusiasm. It's just that there's not as many homes to work with. And we're probably talking about that on the lower end of the price point. Anything from $300,000 less is where we're seeing, there's not as many closed sales because there just isn't the homes available for people to. We're finding homes, we're helping people, but if there were other homes available, we would have a lot more, a lot more pendings and a lot more closed.
Here's what happened to me. You guys are our experts, but for 24 hours every 2 years, I have to go and sit and listen to Doug Nelson or somebody like Doug.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what he told the people in the class on Saturday, as I was getting 8 hours, was get ready for an adjustment in 2022. Do you agree with that? That we could see a change as to what to expect if you're a seller and maybe what you're going to pay if you're a buyer?
I think that any time there's the prospect of the interest rates changing, there is going to be an adjustment in reference to whether it's the list prices of homes or whether it's the buyer's ability to perform and buy. So right now, with interest rates being what they are, they can purchase that $350,000 home. But if the interest rates go up a quarter or half, now all of a sudden, maybe they're only qualified for a $310,000 home. And then in the meantime, what happens is now the pressure of not as many people being able to purchase at that higher price point may mean some of those house prices may have to adjust a little bit. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I think that's what he's alluding to.
Well, and what he's actually telling the class to be prepared for a change because it's always changing in the marketplace. Would you agree?
I agree. And Tony well said on what he was saying because of the interest rate. It's coming around the interest rate. If the prices go up, the people still can afford it if the interest rate's down. So it all comes down to what the change is actually going to be, but it's more than likely it's going to be because of the prices and the interest rates.
Yeah, and so we're seeing more people kind of, even though yes, this weekend was fantastic. We had 60s and 70-degree weather, but we're coming in the time where they're talking. They have the S word, that they're talking on the weather report here
Yes.
coming, up on Friday. But that is not, whether it snows, blizzards, whatever, it's not going to slow anybody down. I mean, if the houses are there, people are going to want to go take a look at them. But I think the other part that I'm hearing more and more from people that I'm working with is they're kind of cognizant of the fact that interest rates are starting to creep, or they might potentially, because that's kind of been the word. 2022 is we're going to see that happen. We can't define it whether it's going to happen in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, whatever. But when that happens, that will definitely have an effect on people's purchasing power and what they can do. So I think they're taking a real hard look at that.
Somebody's using Garrett's in South Dakota. Tell me about that.
Yeah, So I just took our surrounding communities.
Now, you got to give it back after you've used it. Okay?
I think it was for the public domain for all of us to use.
I think you're right.
I was using it as an example, in reference to Garrettson, because I think that, what's happened is we've seen many of the surrounding communities that have experienced this unprecedented growth. We've seen this, where they, basically they don't have any homes for sale inventory-wise because as soon as they come on the market, they're purchased because people in the past have been going to these smaller communities because they've been able to buy more home for less money, and so that kind of fit their family. Plus, if they had young children, whether they did or don't have young children, a lot of them like the smaller school systems. But let's just use Garrettson, for example. Last October, Garrettson basically had 7 listings available. This October, there's 1 listing available. But here's the thing is the median price point increased 49% in Garrettson, which means the value of homes have went up quite a bit. Now, I realize there's some outliers, and you could have, someone who had an acreage that sold for a lot of money, that sort of thing. But still, that was kind of a little, sleepy community to a certain degree. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying it's far enough away where now it's 25 miles, and people are thinking 25 miles is nothing. Just like Del Rapids, another
That's
place.
the point I was going to make. Sioux Falls counts so much on those people in those small towns to be able to come in and take those jobs. We have lots of openings, and we need Garrettson to have more than 1.
Yeah.
We need the other communities, the Del Rapids and all those as well, to have that.
Well, I've got the Del Rapids stats, too, where there was 19 homes available last October. Now there's only 11, which is a 42% decrease in the number of the inventory. And then the median price point increased 18%. It went from $225 in Garrettson last year to $265 this year. So just point being is a lot of the surrounding communities are experiencing the same thing that we are in Sioux Falls. So it's not just a Sioux Falls thing. And I think it's not just our MLS. I think throughout the state, they're probably seeing a lot of this. When you talk to Brent Adney, he can probably, add to that conversation because he's living with, all of this throughout the state.
All right. The one thing that we do, these numbers are through the end of October.
Correct.
We're now 8 days into the month of November. People like to be current. So you two guys, in the next minute and a half, make them current as to what's happened the first 8 days in November.
Well, basically where I'm seeing it is that, the smaller towns, I've got a couple listings in smaller towns that we kind of priced the listing a little high because of the seller saying, the market's high. Well, we reduced the price. They sold instantly. So, the market is there. It's just not that, we're still getting about 100%, even though after we reduce the price because of where it's coming in for offers. Going forward, if we stay away from the S word, then we will probably be okay because people get scared when it starts to snow.
Yes. Well, I just think that we're just going to continue to see this market as we're talking about. It'll be interesting to see what if the total building permits surpass $1 billion here in our Sioux Falls area.
So the over or under, are you looking at Thanksgiving or after?
It'll be after Thanksgiving is when they hit the $1 billion mark.
And you're saying?
I would say the same.
I'm going to say it's going to be the day before. Gives us something to be thankful for. I saw Butch in church Sunday praying.
Yeah.
And I know he's not there yet, but I think the prayers will be answered.
All right. That sounds good.
All right, Tony, we appreciate you. How do they find you?
Yes. My cell number is 605-201-5998. And Facebook, we have a Tony Bachman group page. Reach out to us there. Thank you.